What's good? What's good? What's good, fans? I wish I had more energy for you guys today. Um, I'm a little. This is our first world problems, as they say, fans. But I wish I had more energy for you guys today. But I'm a little downtrodden, and I'm not at my best, fans. Cleveland, if I may, how you doing, Cleveland? Let me ask that. Let's get that out of the way. Cleveland, thank you. We give Cleveland a round of applause for joining us tonight. How are you doing, sir?
Doing all right, bro. Trying to not get so inundated with all this information that's going on right now, and I'm a sucker for it. So unfortunately, I am. So I'm just trying to process it all.
Okay, this is not a political show, but fans, just get out the vote. That's all I'm saying. Like our man said last night, don't boo, vote. And that's I'll leave it right there at that. What's up, Barry? How you doing, man? Thanks for tuning in, fans. All right. Well, tonight we're going to get into our typical topics, sports topics. We're into the NBA. We're gonna get into the NFL preseason. We gotta get some rankings. I got some rankings for people. We're gonna talk about Major League Baseball. I got Cleveland. I sent Cleveland a link to. I can't show you guys the video, but we're gonna get into some boxing discussions on kind of what was the most impressive knockout. So I'm gonna get Cleveland's feedback on that. But first, I get my spirits up over here. We're gonna get started with the video, kind of a montage of what the show's been through over a bunch of years. And we're gonna get that started. And then, fans, I gotta complain to you. I got a link crying your shoulders, fans. You're gonna hear me. Please bear with me, but my spirits just aren't up. And I think Cleveland doesn't agree with me on why I'm so down. Cleveland thinks I have no reason to be down, and it's like Cleveland's driving in a '78 Toyota Corolla. I guess I don't know what's going on, but we're gonna talk about it. But like we do each and every week on a Wednesday night, we get the show started with our little montage, just like this.
Am I speaking to right now?
Cameron.
My name is Cameron.
Cam Buford.
Hey, it's Peter Rosenberg. I'm hanging on my man Cameron Buford.
We got some good questions today.
I'm a Dolphin fan.
There's always room for improvement. This is a big year for Tua to prove that he's a franchise quarterback.
I'm more a fan of boxing. Boxing is my main sport.
All we want to see every year are the best two mothers getting in the ring and getting on.
Best people to fight for this. Somehow we got away from that because guys are trying to protect their record.
Think about it like this. The promoter pays the fighter. The fighter pays the manager.
Okay.
So the manager works for the fighter, and the fighter works for the promoter.
Okay.
Talk about that loyalty for a moment. I'm standing there to try to make a change. You know, give back to the youth, give back to my community and show them that there is hope that you can make it out. You know, only thing is you just got to be dedicated. You got to keep your head down and stay on this course that you're heading towards.
You know it.
So you are lifting weights currently?
When he said it's easier to score in the NBA versus Europe, did you agree with them?
To me, it's easy to score all over the world.
Can I finish right now? Do you want me to speak or do you want to conduct the interview and answer for me? Which one?
What do you think about this upcoming?
Like I was saying before.
Aaron, what has the game of baseball taught you?
One of the biggest things is being humble.
Can you give a message to the kids to kind of persevere through the false teachings they may be giving?
Patience.
Okay.
Patience.
As the show voice of the fan,
Oh my goodness!
continues to
I'm in
evolve.
tears.
Come on, you were adding some spice to it.
It is strictly banter back and forth between myself and Cameron Buford.
I enjoy all of it.
The real ones know what's going on, right? Like you said, Pacific Northwest, so I think it's a big part of my game, and every time I step on the floor, I just want to represent myself.
You play this game and you don't turn to win a championship, then why are you playing for?
I'm happy for the Mariners. I'm happy for
Nobody.
Never mind.
Go watch the tape. Go watch the tape, and then you tell me if it was all about just a system.
You look like a buffoon.
Go do your research. Go do your study.
You play against Michael Jordan, and you said LeBron is the best player in the history of the game?
Did you guys hear that?
Oh, this guy.
Hey, come here. It's okay. It's okay.
That's what's good in sports, man. It's Big Snoop Dogg, man.
That's what's good in sports.
Thank you for making our voice your choice.
And really appreciate you listening to the Voice of the Fans podcast. Check it out every single week.
What up, Snoop? What up, Snoop? My guy, Snoop Doggy Dogg. Fans, I'm of an age, fans, where we bought cassette tapes. Cleveland, you know what a cassette tape is? Have you used a cassette tape, Cleveland?
I have bought cassette tapes, made cassette tapes, fixed cassette tapes, Cam.
Okay. Let's stop right there. When you say fix a cassette tape, you've experienced your putting your cassette tape in the boom box, and then it get eaten up, and then you pull it out, and you got all the tape, and you have to wind to get the pencil to wind it back up, and hopefully it plays again. So you know that feeling, that feeling of despair, right? When you pull the tape out, and this might be, you said you made cassette tapes when, fans at one time there wasn't what am I looking for? The iPod. You didn't have the iPod Shuffle where you could shuffle hundreds of songs by the click of a button. Like that wasn't available back in the late 80s. Shit, all the 80s, right? Mid 90s. You couldn't, just pick up your phone and go to iHeartRadio and pull up every song, or go to YouTube and pick up any song you want to in the world right now. You had to have go to the record store, ARS record stores. You had to go to Tower Records. You had to go get the tape, so then you could play it in your stereo. And if that messed up, if that stereo ate up your tape, like that was a moment of despair, Cleveland. If you put it in the car stereo and it didn't work, there was moments of despair, Cleveland. Similar to I'm not a big smoker, but imagine this. You come home and you try to light up your cigarette, and you got the cigarette. You go to the store, buy a pack of cigarettes, get in the car, start driving down the road, and then you're like, damn, I don't got a lighter. I don't got matches. So you got cigarettes and no lighter, right? And no fire. If you go buy a nice bottle of wine, if you fans who drink wine, you go out with your wifey or invite wifey over. Wife, I use wife for you loosely. And then you have a nice bottle of wine, not the corkscrew, not the twist cap. A nice bottle of wine, you need a corkscrew opener. And you don't have a corkscrew opener, like you're kind of in trouble. That's a moment of despair, fans. Okay, I'm talking about moments of despair right now. You got the car and you don't got no gas money to put in the car. You know where you want to go. She tells you to come over, but you don't have, could take you a half a tank to get over there to her house, but you don't have a half tank of gas. So you can't go over there because you don't have the gas, right? You're in trouble. You don't warmed everything up. Took you a couple of days to loosen her up, and she said, "Come on over," but you don't have the gas. You don't have gas in your car, so you can't go. Moments of despair, Cleveland, is what I'm talking about. Remember that. I'm gonna come back to that moment of despair. Cleveland, it was to indulge me for a minute, fans. Again, fans, I'm at a low point, fans, and I need you guys just to hear me out, and I need to get this off my chest. It was 2000. I want to say 2002 or 2003. I got a color TV. I got the boob TV, the TV with the tube in the back. So it's probably a 27 inch, right? I'm making okay money. Cleveland, I say, okay, it was probably 2003. I've been seeing this commercial on TV for the last 3 months. Bring in your TV Bring in your boob TV. I was in LA at the time, living in Inglewood. Bring in your boob TV. The TV with the boob tube with the big round back, the old school TV. And we'll give you credit for your TV, and you get a flat screen TV. So I've seen this commercial running. I seen it running through Black Friday. Seen it running through December. Like, okay, January come. Okay, let me go see if that deal is good. Let me go get me a. No, not a. It wasn't a flat screen TV at the time. It was a HD TV. Okay, I didn't have HD. This is pre HD fans. Again, some of y'all don't know how old some of you guys are, but pre HD TV. I've seen this commercial running for at least 3 consecutive months. January comes, I say, for my birthday in February, I'm gonna go get me an HD TV, Cleveland. So I, got the boob TV, wrapped the cord around it, put it in the back seat. I'm going to the store to get me a HD TV. I get to the store, Cleveland. This is mid-January. I was doing this. I get to the store and they's like, that sale ended January 1. I'm like, oh, I seen it. I literally seen this running for 90 days. I missed a deal. So I said, okay, I'm still gonna buy me an HD TV. But the HD TV, Cleveland, again, this is 2002, 2003, one of those years. HD TV, Cleveland, was $2,500. Shit. I don't know if I'm ready to spend $2,500 on a TV. Like, whew, I don't know. I think I paid $50 for that TV that I had that I was trading in. I wasn't ready for $2,500. I was like, okay, tell you what, okay, here's $500 right here. This was the first thing I ever put on layaway was this TV. Here's $500. I'll come get it in a few weeks. So, few weeks come, Cleveland. Few weeks come, and I can't. What did I think I had a Chevy S10 Blazer. It wasn't a big Blazer, a little Blazer. S10. The TV wouldn't fit in the S10. This is the 55-inch Sony floor model. Okay, dual speakers in the front. It can't fit in the truck, in the back of the truck. So I had to have somebody deliver the TV. So they delivered the TV. I get the TV hooked up, and a couple weeks later, I found out. The next season, actually, I found out about DirecTV. I can get all the games on TV, so I'm fired up. I can get the next season. I can get I got DirecTV. I can get the NFL Network and all the games on every game on whatever. I'm fired up. Cleveland, do you know? I go to in LA. They had Circuit City at the time. Circuit City was a competitor to Best Buy, in a sense, shut down, but it was a competitor to Best Buy. I paid $2,500 for this TV, 55-inch again, big floor model stuff. Circuit City had flat screens on TV, Cleveland, for like $1,200. I'm like, are you kidding me? Just less than 12 months ago, I paid $1,200 or $2,500 for this damn floor model, and now they got it. It was a 42-inch, but it's a flat screen like most people have now that fits right up on the TV. I mean, that TV sit on my TV. That's a better picture. That's how smooth now. The HD TV. I'm like, ain't this a bitch? But I need to get my $2,500 worth. So I just could not get a TV then. I couldn't buy it. I needed to get my $2,500 worth. All right, so fast forward a few years later, Cleavon. A few years later now, again, fans, thank you guys for sticking with me and indulging me in this story here. You'll get well. I'm talking about moments of despair is when I'm get to. You're gonna hear my moment here momentarily. Fast forward years later, Cleavon. I get a house, move from Inglewood to Los Angeles, South Central. I get a house with a garage. Never intended to put my car in the garage. Never, not once. It never crossed my mind to put my car in the garage. I had a company car at the time too. So I take the big boob tube, the big TV I paid $2,500 for. That's going in the garage. Okay, so now video game, PlayStation. I got the real live 55-inch flat screen HD TV in the garage, and I went and got a couple flat screen TVs. My girl had one. I went and got another one, big one for the living. Think I paid $1,200 for like a 55-inch, 12, maybe $1,300-$1,400, somewhere in there. It was considerably less than what I paid for this big TV. But again, I couldn't get rid of that. I'm still trying to get my $2,500 worth from this Sony, the flat screen. But if you guys know the Sony, the big box with the two speakers in it, you guys know you guys have seen that before, and you guys, if you saw it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So we go get the TV. All right, and it was just something. Just wasn't right, Cleavon. It just like your boy Cedric the Entertainer says, listening, watching movies on the TV. It just wasn't right. Like Cedric says, Luther with the curl, old school Luther, the curl just wouldn't curl right. Well, there was something missing watching this TV. It was a great picture, lovely picture, but just something was missing. And I stumbled into the Bowles factory store in Los Angeles, Camarillo to be exact. And they must have seen me coming. They must have seen me coming from the other end of the mall and opened the doors wide open. I think had some lights and some chandeliers that was and the chimes and the music that was playing. It's something that just drew me to the Bowles store. Let's go in here and see what they're talking about. So we go in there. And they were like, well, what kind of home stereo do you have? Home stereo. I mean, I got a stereo. I think I had a JVC stereo in the bedroom, or excuse me, a JVC stereo in my office. I had another Sony stereo, like stackable stereo in the bedroom. I have a couple stereos at the house. What are you guys talking about? They're like, no, for your TV, what kind of home stereo system do you have? I'm not sure what you guys is talking about. Dog was like, come here. Come on in here. Took me in the room, closed the door behind me. He's like, turn on the TV. Is this what your TV sounds like? I'm looking at the Bose big screen TV. This TV was probably 65-inch. I was like, shit, I don't got a 65-inch. Turned it on and we hear it was some movie was playing. I couldn't even tell you what the movie was playing. But the movie was playing, and I mean, I heard the stereo. I heard it. But it just I'm really looking at the TV like, do I need a 65-inch TV? That's really what I was thinking. When he's like, is this what your TV sounds like? And then he hit the button. He He hit the stereo button. And all of a sudden, the whole room came alive. All of a sudden, I heard footsteps behind me. I heard the wind chimes. I had the guy hitting the little bell to hit the music. I'm looking around like, it was only 3 of us in the room. I'm like, where's this coming from? The sound in the room just encapsulated me. I was like, oh boy. I was like, what is this? He's like, do you like sports? I said, absolutely. They had to take, again, they were waiting on me. They were waiting on me, Cleavon. He put like an NBA game on TV. We can hear the sneakers squeaking on the floor. You can hear the popcorn, man. Popcorn, beer. We got beer for $12. You heard everything, Cleavon. You know the guys on the sideline. You seen them in the NFL that has the big boom mic, right? There's just every play somebody runs out of bounds. You see him running up, and he has a microphone, right, with the little. It looks like a satellite dish, but there's a mic in the middle. We heard all of that, Cleveland. Every sound that guy's capturing, we heard it all through this room. I'm like, I need one of those. I need one of those. What are we talking about? What's going on here? Oh, well, that's our Bose 321 surround sound speaker with 12 speakers in the room. Yeah, that'll be $4,500. Whoa, come on, 45. Are you kidding me? But I'm hooked. I'm hooked. I'm hooked. $4,500, man, for the stereo sound. He's like, yeah, they'll come out and they'll put in the toilet. Like, okay. Maybe I don't need 12 speakers, dog. Maybe I don't need 12 speakers. But I need that sound. What can we do? He's like, man, well, I don't, that what you just heard was $4,500. I was like, okay, well, man, we need to turn on something else because you guys ain't getting $4,500 out of me today, but we need to turn on something else. So he went and played around, and he turned on the stereo, Cleavon. That has 3 speakers, 1 subwoofer, 2 tweeters, speakers here, and that throws the sound out. I think I paid $1,700. Watching TV, Cleavon. TVs, or watching a football game, basketball game, baseball game, movies, concerts, never been the same. Haven't been the same ever since. So we had this conversation. I know we had this conversation where somebody invited me to a Super Bowl party. And my first thought, I don't know what you guys think about when you think about the Super Bowl party, whether it's who's going to be there, the food, the ambiance. My first thoughts is, what is their TV look? What is their TV like? What is their sound like? Or am I going to somebody that doesn't care about the game and they're just having a big party? That's different than going to watch the Super Bowl. Would you agree with me on that? That's different. If you're going to somebody's house and they're throwing a Super Bowl party, I need to know, does this person care about the game? Versus they're just having a bash. Like, I need to know this. Or they're just having a bash and the game may or may not be important. Like, I need to know, that man in the house, does he care about the game? Or he just wants a bunch of people in his house? I need to know this. Because that matters to me. If I'm going to go want to watch the game, the ancillary during the halftime and during the commercials, I mean, we can chat a little bit, but I'm going to watch. I personally am watching the game, fans. Let me know in the chat, fans. If you're going to a Super Bowl party, are you concerned about the company, the party, or the game? Which is important to you? And when I say the game, like the TV, we can't be on a 27-inch tube TV. That's not that doesn't draw me to your house. In fact, I see that I'm ready to leave. So we got to have flat screen is mandatory. And now that since I heard that Bose stereo, surround sound is mandatory. So fans, here I am. I mean, I think in my house at one time, I think I had 4 flat screen TVs. Each of them had some type of surround sound. It's become that critical to my viewing experience. Okay. Oh my goodness. So fans, here's my moment of despair. Is about 3 to 4 weeks ago. I was watching a fight. There was a if you check my Instagram, What's Good in Sports on Instagram, I posted a video of there was a fight I was watching where one of the craziest knockouts that just happened. It was a no-name fighter. But my TV, Cleavon, was tripping. Like, I'm getting sporadic lines coming through the TV. Like, I'm watching it, and then I figured it was a channel. Like, okay, maybe their connection isn't great, because I had no problem with my TV. But then it was like I changed the channel, and there was still different channels had the same issue. Like the lines, the colors was off, and it just kind of looked like the TV's going out of is fading out. I don't know. It didn't. You only probably got whatever 36,000 hours of TV before the TV just is ready to go kaput. Looks like the TV is ready to go kaput. So I did something, fans. I did something years ago. I probably would have just chucked the TV and then went and got a new one. But times ain't the same, Cleavon. Times ain't the same. Why you just go and there's no there is a Best Buy here. I just go down to Best Buy and drop $900 on the TV. Times ain't the same. Even at Walmart, I'm not going to buy the TCL for $250. I'm not buying the TCL they have at Walmart 55 inch. I don't know who the hell TCL is. I'm not buying that TV 55 inch for $250. It literally, I saw it the other day. TCL 55 inch LG TV, or excuse me, HDG TV. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that TCL. I don't know who the hell they are. But my TV is on the fritz. So I don't know what to do. I go on the YouTube, Cleavon, and I saw this dude over. It had to be Russian. There was no English on the video. But he went into the TV. He said, color bad, picture bad. Watch this. Undo some screws. Went in there, pulled something out, hooked it up, plugged it back in. Picture good. Oh, shit, I could do that. So I did this a couple weeks ago. Went into it, pulled the back of the TV is something Cleveland I would never do. Pulled it back off the TV, mess around with a couple wires in there, plugged it back in, picture good. I'm surprised at myself. Okay, this picture is crisp. It's back looking good. Like I got it off the shelf. I go to put everything back together, Cleveland. My optical cable from my freaking stereo is not going into its port. So I have only, I'm thinking, okay, maybe I did something wrong. Maybe my stereo all of a sudden go out? Plug it to PlayStation, stereo comes on through the TV. So my stereo, the stereo I got, I can put a CD in there. It can play you can play a CD, you can play the radio station, and then the sound comes through the TV. It plays the stereo on the TV. So got a CD. The only CD actually in there was the EPMD. Boom, that plays. Okay, cool. The stereo still works. but I can't get it. I had it hooked up with the optical cable. I don't know, the optical cable still not going through the TV. So fans, here's my moments now. So I'm suffering, fans. I've been suffering for a few weeks now with a television. And oddly enough, I got a couple TVs. I'm here in Alabama. For those that don't know, I moved out here a couple years ago. And I just, because I know I'm only here for the moment, I'm still haven't unpacked a lot of stuff. And I have a TV that I'm looking at, a 42-inch right now, that has not been unpacked since I moved from Los Angeles. I have a TV in the bedroom. Hasn't been, I unpacked it, but I haven't used it because I can't find the screws to the stand to stand it up. So only one TV downstairs was working. That's the one I've been watching. That's been on the fritz. But that's the one my stereo was hooked up to. So I really don't want to unpack this TV. I may have to break down and do it. But I've been living with no sound, with just the sound from the television, Cleavon, and it's piercing my ears. It's like nails on a chalkboard. Like I'm with my nice bottle of wine and no bottle opener, Cleavon. I have a pack of cigarettes and no lighter, Cleavon. My tape that I talked about earlier, when you put the tape in the CD in the tape deck, Cleavon, and it unravels, and there's that moment of despair where you pull the tape out, but then you pull the cassette tape, but then the tape's still wrapped up in the stereo, and you got to pull that out. Cleavon, I'm in a moment of despair right now because I have just only the TV sound and no surround sound. It's like I'm driving a 78 Toyota Corolla and the stock stereo that comes out of that, Cleavon. When I have downstairs and I have the speaker box with the 215s and an amp and my 6x9s and my tweeters. But I don't have. I'm at a moment of despair, fans. And Cleavon is telling me that he can't tell a difference between surround sound, watching the game, or watching a movie. It's like, Cleavon, it's like when you go to the movie theater, Cleavon. That's another thing. Having that surround sound, it cut the movies out, buddy. It cut the movies out. I get that same sound in my living room. Okay, we were watching. Go buy a DVD and get the same sound experience. It's like going to a movie theater, Cleavon, and hearing what was before Dolby Audio. Now they promote Dolby stereo surround sound. You remember that sound that was coming out of just a regular putrid sound? That's what's coming out of my TV, fans. I got to get this fixed. I got 2 weeks before NFL season starts, so I have to get this fixed. Or we might not be doing a show because I don't know how I can watch competitive action and just not have the sound, Cleavon. Do you know what I'm talking about, man? Do you understand at all what I'm saying?
Well, Cam, I mean, first and foremost, this is a very tragic tale. Like Smokey once said, Kool-Aid, no sugar, peanut butter, no jelly.
You know what I'm saying? There you go. It's exactly what I'm talking about. Somebody said, "Do you want something to drink?" and they give you the Kool-Aid with no sugar. You hit the head on the nail, Cleavon, right there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and again, let me say to that Bose salesman, that was a very sinister move that he did. I've actually been pulled into that room one time before, and with the upholstery around it, with the Yeah, the acoustics just perfect, and yeah, that's not right because you're never gonna be able to replicate that in your own environment. Man, like, wow, why you make it sound like that? That's not fair.
That
I want $5,000 television, man, because I want to have that experience. Wow, that's horrible. Now, part two, I have seen the difference. Okay. And now that you're talking about it, and now that you're so passionate about it, it really for me, only applies to hip hop movies. I did have the pleasure of listening to Belly in that environment that you're talking about. Like, whoa, way different movie. And then watched it at my house. I was like, oh, this movie's not that great. I watched it at that other dude's house. Man, it's like the greatest movie. I watched it at my own house.
Oh my goodness, man.
So in reverse, the same thing with A Ma. Watched it at my own house. Okay. Again, to the stereo person's house. Oh wow.
You're all in trap. You was in 313, right?
The club of the battle, like, wow, this is like emotional. Like, wow.
Man, there's a difference, man. There is a difference, man.
There's
a difference.
But let me preface this. It's only with certain movies. Okay. Hip hop
is not actually.
Now listen now. It's mostly hip hop. Okay. That it makes that significant difference. Now, because most of what I am watching on my television is sports, I have to be perfectly, totally honest with you. I have heard both, and that super Bose Dolby surround sound does not enhance the sports experience for me like that.
Man, you're off. You're off. You're not. You're off. You're off. You're off. I mean, I could tell them. So when you say hip hop, when you say watching hip hop video, what is? Geez, I'm having a brain fart right now. What is 50 Cent's TV show that he has out? The Power. The stereo actually have, when that comes on, like I gotta go turn it down because the stereo will be having the windows in my building rattling.
Oh, like, for sure. And again, when I say
there's a difference. There is I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But watching the game, I can't. To be honest with you, what did I watch? I watched the only thing in this is how often I'm sitting in front of the TV, fans. This is how often I sit myself down in front of the TV. The only thing I've watched with this piss poor sound is the Receiver episode. Like, and I to be honest, I can't even get into it. Like, it's that sound quality is not there.
No, the collisions and the spitting and the breaking of bones and fumbles and stuff. It's just not. Yeah,
I'm telling you, when I walked into that Bowls room and dude closed the door.
Yeah, that's wrong. That's wrong of him to do that.
And no, when he said, "Is this what your TV sounds like?" and he turned it on, and I just heard the speaker. I just heard the sound out of the regular TV speakers. And then he hit that button, and it was like just the whole room came alive.
Yeah,
like
that's unfair. That's unfair for that those salesmen to do that to you.
Fans, I'm sorry. Thank you guys for hearing me. If you,
I mean, just get back to AM radio, okay? Yeah, you don't have to be FM.
See. Now you got jokes.
It don't have to be FM.
Now you got jokes. Now you got jokes, man.
I'm saying, just come back to the AM part of the
something over here, and I will let you know when I'm back to real life. Okay, I'm back to real life. But right now, like I can't even go sit on my couch and watch. It's just not worth it to me. Okay. It's just not worth it. It's not worth the time. It's not worth the investment. I can't do it, and I'm struggling over here. Okay, I'm struggling over here, and Cleveland got jokes. So, fans, let's get into it. Thank you guys for indulging me. If you know the pain, hit me up in the chat. Let me know that you feel my pain. Okay. With it being August 21, 2024, this is week 305 of the Voice of the Fans podcast. Give yourselves a round of applause if you're still with us. Cleveland, each and every week we start a numbers game. This week with the number being it being week 305, being August 21, excuse me, first of all, and then week being 305. Cleveland, when you think of the number 21, outside of Alvin Davis or Roberto Clemente, who wore that number best, or who comes to your mind first?
You know, Cam, who comes to mind first right now is Devin Witherspoon, who wears number 21, cornerback for the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, all of a sudden, the young cat getting some love from you.
That's one of the jerseys I have. He's actually in the collection. Kind of, you know, a little preemptive with getting in that one, but I did get it. Who wore it the best? Roger Clemens. Roger Clemens.
When you think of the number 5, Cleveland, outside of Paul Hornung or Will Conroy, well, Will Conroy went to the UW. You weren't going to mention him anyway. Who wore that jersey number the best, or who comes to your mind first?
You know, I'm going to go with Mario Bailey because I just recently saw him a few weeks ago at training camp. So I believe he comes to mind first. Who wore it the best? That is a tough one. I'm going to go with Reggie Bush.
Reggie Bush at USC. I knew that wasn't going to translate. I knew that was not going to translate. I just knew that. Fans. So like Tua, I'm depressed right now like Tua was playing for Brian Flores. I try to tell anybody who would listen, Brandon Flores was not the right man for the job. If you recall, I mentioned that multiple times. How can you have on your resume, I'm defensive coordinator for the New England Patriots when Bill Belichick was still coaching the Patriots? Like, that doesn't get you a job. That shouldn't get you a job. And you're gonna say the fruit from that tree is rotten. That's what you're gonna say. I can already predict that. But I told you back then that he shouldn't have been head coach.
It's not rotten. It's just not replicatable what it is that he brings to the table when they go out and try to do the same thing.
Well, he shouldn't have had the job to begin with. I was not ever excited about Brian Flores being the head coach. But one thing I do agree with Brian Flores apparently is that he was not enamored with Tua Tagovailoa. And he didn't think Tua should have been, you know, they try to do some finagling there where with this logic, you didn't want Tua to be your quarterback, but then you snitched on the owner for trying to get another quarterback in there. So I don't understand the logic from Brian Flores. And again, that was just another reason that Brian Flores didn't deserve to be in that position. He just didn't know how to handle, you know, there's some cars that everybody can't get behind every car, Cleveland. Because you can drive the Toyota, because you can drive the Nissan, because you can drive the Audi, that doesn't mean you should be behind the wheel of a Benz or a Maserati, right? There's a difference, right? Brandon Flores didn't need to be behind the wheel of the Miami Dolphins making the decisions. He didn't need that. But again, I have to agree with them on this, that Tua was not that guy. And I there's still some belief in me that Tua is not that guy, even though he got paid the big bucks. So Cleveland, with that being said, Brandon Flores was kind of hard on Tua Tagovailoa and caused Tua to come out this week and say, you know, what if somebody was just beating you up and tell you didn't belong and you weren't good enough and that you couldn't do that? You kind of lose that kind of breaks you down and that kind of impacts you. What do you think about Tua? What do you have to say there? What do you think about is that millennials? Is that you know, like what Eddie Murphy say? SOFT, soft. That's what Tua is, soft. That's why the Dolphins won't be in the playoffs this year. That's why the Dolphins won't be championship contenders with him as quarterback. What would he say about the Tua Brian Flores scenario?
Well, this is quite interesting, Cam, because at first I was kind of on that same page that you are. Like, wow, millennials can't take that, that hard coaching, that tough talk, that in your face type of mentality. But then I heard that he actually started saying this a year ago. He just didn't say it publicly to everybody. He had been saying it to the people that came and did the pregame stuff. He had been saying it to his dad. He'd been saying it to his college, everybody else, but just the whole world. And so,
that don't make it no better. That don't make the situation no better.
So listen now. So I'm sure if you get $200 million, in your bank account, 150 of that, guaranteed, yeah, you feel emboldened to kind of I'm finally ready to get this off of my chest. This is a difference between this guy and that guy.
Ooh.
Now, again, as we were saying, that Belichick coaching tree, everyone in the tree wants to go out and try and replicate what Bill does in practice, how Bill handles situations, how Bill would do this or that. And that's cool because that worked with that dynamic of, Bill and Tom Brady. It's not going to work with Flores and Tua, right? And if you continue to do that and you continue to hamper his progress, then ultimately you're just going to get fired.
You're going to be a defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings. That's what's going to happen.
Between how Flores was an ineffective communicator to Tua, adverse McDaniel coming in and breathing all of this life into this dude. It's okay, well, that's going to make it hard for Coach Flores to get a head coaching job ever again.
Well, he wasn't getting head coaching.
If you're dealing with a top 5 talent and you mismanage the top 5 talent to such an extent that they're horrible with you as the coach, and they're a Pro Bowler, top 5 quarterback in the league with someone else.
Settle down. Settle down. Top 5. Settle down.
Oh, he wasn't top 5 in passing last year? What do you say? No, he wasn't.
That was the offense. Let's see what he does this year.
Okay. Well, I know you've never been a big proponent, except for that 1 3-week window that you always. He
was on fire. It was more like 5 weeks. He was on fire.
Sure.
And then a couple weeks later, he was pulled off. He was carted off the field.
He can't return to that. And I believe last season again, he did lead the league in passing yards, right? I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have done that with Flores as the coach. According to him.
No. I mean, good. Kudos to Mike. I don't have nothing against Mike McDaniel. Kudos to Mike McDaniel's coming there, and you got to know that's part of coaching.
But you're calling Tua soft and all that. But all he needed was a different voice. Perhaps not quite such a heavy hand, which is what Flores was used to, because that's all he ever saw Belichick do was use a heavy hand. So he figured, well, damn, when I get to be the coach, I got to use a heavy hand. But it just doesn't work with everybody.
Again, that's part of coaching. You got to know your personnel. You got to know your personnel.
That's part of what he wasn't good at, and unfortunately, it may cost him the possibility of ever becoming a head coach, ever again.
It certainly will, and he's relegated to defensive coordinator.
No, he's he's going to be the enemy of defensive coordinators.
Yeah, good point. You just brought up a name that I have to add to my list here that we're going to talk about here in a minute. Yeah, that was an interesting scenario, and you're right. You got to know your personnel. You got to know how to handle your personnel. You got to know what works and what doesn't. Everybody. Some people need a kick in the butt. Some people need a pat on the back. Some you got to know your personnel. So shame on Flores for not understanding his personnel. But I told you that situation, he should not have been in that position to begin with. And then him is just made even so more obvious with the Mike McDaniel coming there and turning that guy into a serviceable quarterback. It just made it more painfully obvious.
Not really serviceable.
Serviceable.
Pro Bowler, the best
Serviceable,
pass, the most passing yards in the league, and 200 mil. Say that.
Serviceable quarterback. You don't have any faith that he'll do that this season. None. Zero. Zip.
I 100% have faith he'll throw for more than 4,000 yards this season.
Put some money on the fact that Tua leads the NFL in passing, Cleveland. Put some money on it. He has Tyreek and Waddle. Put some money on that. Tua Tagovailoa leads the NFL in passing again this year.
4,000 yards. And I have some other quarterbacks I have my eye on that are going to do some things. So
no, okay, you limited at 4,000. Let's say that lead the league in passing like he did last year. Put 4, some money on that.
I said 4,000.
Put some money on that. 4,000 is nothing nowadays.
Came in 2024 and making my wagers quite wisely, and I've already got one gym. I'm not just going to go, haphazardly just making prognostications. But
I mean, if you had no faith in it, say that. If you have no confidence in it,
I have complete, total confidence he will be top 3 in passing, and that he will throw for more than 4,000 yards.
Okay, I think you want to put some money that he'll be top 3 on. You want to put some money on that? You want to put something on that? Top 3.
Well, training camp's not quite over yet. So.
You see how he does, fans?
I mean,
you see when he's pressed. You see when he's pressed how he changes his mind, starts flopping around.
If Tyreek Hill breaks his leg in the next 2 weeks, then the answer will be no. But all things being equal, if everybody's healthy, yeah, we can revisit this.
Okay, we got a couple weeks. You got a couple more weeks. That'll better be on the table till week 1.
Okay,
that better be on the table.
Sure.
Sean King, you remember Sean King, quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, led them to. He was a quarterback when they beat the Greatest Show on Turf, I believe. If I'm,
no, he was not.
He was not the quarterback.
No.
Well, he was there the year before
when they lost 11-6.
Yeah, okay. Sean King says Brad Johnson was better than Tua Tagovailoa.
Mm-hmm.
Agree or disagree?
Oh man, I don't agree with anything that comes out of Sean King's mouth as far as a quarterback. I mean, why would you take anything that he says seriously?
That's cold. That's cold. The man was well over his skis, Cleveland. The man talking about somebody who shouldn't have been behind a car, behind that vehicle. Yeah. The man was well over his skis.
Yeah, no, I'm not listening to anything you have to say about quarterbacks. I saw what you did as a quarterback.
You're cold.
Wow.
Again,
got Tony Dungy fired, and that's kind of hard to do.
I mean, he probably shouldn't have been the starting quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay, well, what did I just say? You got Tony Dungy fired, and that's kind of hard to do.
No, again, he probably shouldn't have been the quarterback. Like, where's the backup quarterback? You guys didn't have anybody better on the team to play quarterback than Sean King? Like,
I don't know if you really remember Sean King playing quarterback. It was horrible.
Again, to my point, who's the GM?
Again, to my point, why would you be listening to such a horrible quarterback about who's a better quarterback?
The guy played in the NFL.
His opinion means nothing. You saw what he was able to accomplish.
Because, okay. Was Mark Jackson the best NBA point guard in the NBA? Was Mark Jackson the best point guard in the NBA?
No.
Okay. Does that mean Mark Jackson's knowledge of the game is not worth listening to?
Oh, that's a totally different comparison.
Why?
Sean King literally cost the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 2 Super Bowls.
Again, I asked you.
They finally got rid of him, and once they got rid of him, they won the Super Bowl. So no, I can't listen to you and your quarterback whisperer nonsense. No, absolutely not.
You're being tough on Sean King. You're being tough on Sean King because he wasn't.
I'm not being tough enough on
because he wasn't Rich Gannon. Doesn't mean he doesn't know football. That doesn't mean he doesn't know football. Now, come on.
He had Mike Allstott, Ward Dunn.
I'm not saying the team was not loaded.
Yeah.
That was the weak link on the team. I agree with you. I understand your point there.
No.
I understand that point.
You're far too pedestrian at the position to be giving opinions.
Hold on.
Who's a better quarterback?
Lamar Thomas is the analyst for the Miami Hurricanes. I mean, that probably was a bad comparison.
Lamar Thomas is a Hurricane. Yeah, come on.
Lamar was bad.
Hurricane. He's won national championships.
Have you heard him call a game? No. Have you heard him call a game? Oh
man,
he was just kind of.
I heard him call the game when
they got the fight with FIU.
All that orange and green came oozing out of that dude. He was jump out the booth.
He was
that mad
on the field.
Oh man, he was that mad.
That's what you get when you come down here.
When you come to the OB. You come to the OB. Yeah.
Oh my goodness! But that was funny. For those of you who heard that video clip, or haven't heard that, if you have not heard Lamar Thomas, Miami versus, I think it was FIU. I'm pretty sure it was FIU, and there was a brawl on the field. To hear his commentary of this brawl, oh my goodness, was priceless. There was no questioning which side of the field he stood on.
Oh, yeah. There was loyalty and allegiance. Yeah, that was made perfectly clear.
That was funny.
Yeah.
All right, so you don't listen to Sean King.
No.
But what he said, Brad Johnson versus Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah, no, I'm not even going to entertain your nonsense, man.
Why not? I mean, Brad Johnson did what you needed him to do and was a tough guy. I haven't seen that out of.
Okay, well, I mean, you know, every time you keep talking about Tua like this, you're just bringing bad juju and karma on your own team.
Speaking of facts,
you say you root for, but yet and still you're throwing all this petty nonsense on Tua, who doesn't deserve it at this point. Cameron,
he doesn't deserve it. Why doesn't he deserve it? Because he had one good year. And I don't see you caping up for Geno Smith. I don't see you caping up for Geno Smith because he had a good year, but you keep wanting to throw him to the wall.
Sucks. That's completely totally different.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying, fam? I believe Geno got you. Has Geno won more playoff games than Tua Tagovailoa?
No.
I might have to go check that one out.
No, he has not.
I might have to go check that one out because that number is 0 for Tua.
It's 0 for Geno Smith too.
Bo Nix has been named the starter in Bronco country. He's the first rookie to be named the starter of the Broncos since John Elway. My question for you, Cleveland: will he be closer to John Elway or Brock Osweiler?
Brock Osweiler.
Oh, you're cold. You're cold. You're cold. Gardner Minshew. What school did he go to? Raiders quarterback. What school did he go to?
No, after they come to the pros, I don't really keep track of where players went previously.
Are you sure? Will he be?
What about him? What about
will
that?
Gardner be closer to Rich Gannon or Todd Marinovich?
Todd Marinovich.
Oh, you're cold. Come on. Come on. Oh my goodness. Cleveland. Jaden Daniels was named starter for the Washington football team. Will he be closer to Doug Williams or Gus Frerotte?
Gus Frerotte.
So neither one of these guys, neither one of these guys having a sustainable NFL career?
No.
Bo Nix, Gardner Minshew, or Jaden Daniels?
No.
I mean, I have to disagree with you on that. I think Jaden Daniels has the weapons. He got your boy Scary Terry over there. I mean, Washington was competitive with Tyler Heinicke. You don't think he's better than Tyler Heinicke?
I do.
So then they'll just be feisty.
But that's not a huge improvement. I mean, it's not hard to be better than Heinicke.
That's cold. Real cold. Throwing dirt on or dirt on somebody's name. My goodness. Cleveland, we got the season starting, NFL season starting in within a couple weeks. Give me a couple weeks to get my TV situation working right. We have 2 more weeks, Cleveland. We're gonna next week. Looks like we're gonna have our guy Eric Williams from Fox Sports on, and we'll talk about his predictions. It will be we're getting down close to prediction time, but we're gonna talk about top stories in the NFL, Cleveland, with our guy Eric Williams next week. But I want to know what I want to know from you this week, though, Cleveland. Which head coach has the most pressures on them this season? I have a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 coaches, Cleveland. Give me name some coaches. I have 7 coaches listed here. Name some coaches that you think may or may not be on this list, or that you think is not necessarily on my list. Ignore my list, but you think are on the hot seat this year.
Well, Mike McCarthy is certainly on the hot seat this year. If he doesn't win, it's going to be a problem. Let's see here. Hot seat.
The way I actually have this worded is which coach has the most pressure on this season.
Oh, well, Mike McCarthy is at the tip top of that list.
Yeah. You're right. You're absolutely right. I agree with you there. There's somebody you're actually pretty fond of who's not far behind.
Oh, enlighten me.
No, I won't. I want you to go ahead and you name one of the 7 guys and see if you can identify 6 other guys.
You know what? My guy out in New York is he's a little bit on the hot seat, man.
Oh, who would that be?
He's pushed all of his chips in on an 87-year-old quarterback coming up.
Oh, really? Oh, really? Look at Cleveland trying to be non-biased. Look at Cleveland trying to be non-biased.
It just so happens to be the greatest passer in the history of football. So
it once was. I mean, Tom Brady was, won 7 Super Bowls too at one point.
No, that's not at one point. That actually happened. Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay. So you name the top 2 guys on my list. Go ahead. Who else you got?
Let's see, who else do we got on this list? Sirianni in Philly. If it don't go well, he's firmly out the door.
Ooh, that's the number 4 guy on my list. Good call there. A good call.
Let's see, as we're going down the list here, gonna be out the door.
Which head coach has the most pressure on them this season?
Oh, pressure. Well then Shanahan has the most.
Ding 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 ding. That is he's
I thought you meant they were like under the hibachi, like it was like the seat's hot, but pressure. It's Shanahan's at the tip top of that list.
No, he's not the top. McCarthy has that spot. Well, he has that spot all to himself. And then you're right, or the Jets. Robert Saleh is a close behind McCarthy. I have another coach. I have an entire coaching staff. Their whole front office should be on this list, though. And then Sirianni. I have somebody else in front of Shanahan, but yes, Shanahan. He lost the 28-3 game as the offensive coordinator, but that game seems to get it doesn't seem to stick to him, right? It doesn't stick. It doesn't seem to be applied to him. I mean, everybody forgets that he was the offensive coordinator in that game. The Falcons gave up the 25-point lead to the New England Patriots. Shanahan has been there with to the Super Bowl with Garoppolo and with Purdy and hasn't won. Like,
Is getting there enough?
And will never win one, which is unfortunate for him because he
says that will never win one.
But yeah, moving right along past him because there's nothing really to report there, especially with no Brandon Ayuk, in camp. We'll move right along to the Giants coach Daboll. Yeah, he's got little or no time left.
I think it's a whole coaching staff, and Daboll's just thrown in the mix. Really, it's the general manager, but the whole front office needs to be swept out of the office if they don't do something. And they unfortunately they put their hopes in. They put all their. You talking about pushing the eggs to the middle? They went all in on Danny Jones, and unfortunately, I mean those guys, the whole front office need to start looking for jobs right now because the Giants aren't busting it great. So there's 2 teams left on this list, Cleveland. Which HC has the most pressure on them? And I, without asking you to name either one of these teams, I can already say that you're going to be like, oh, I disagree. I already.
Okay, well then come out with it because I was starting to run out of material anyway. So who are you talking about?
The Chicago Bears, Eberflus is the pressure's on. If you have the next coming of Andrew Luck, I'm told from everybody who's a Magic Man, or Don Makowski.
Yeah, Cam, your voodoo's not gonna work, man. You're just saying for Caleb doesn't run all the way that far.
There's no disdain for Caleb. I'm rooting for Caleb. Keenan Allen and DJ Moore and Rome Odunze. I'm rooting for all those guys.
You're not a believer, so you're trying to throw the coach underneath the bus. Come on.
No, I'm just saying if it doesn't work, if this is the next coming Andrew Luck,
it's gonna work. So what was your next one?
Well, if it doesn't work, he's in trouble, right? He ought to be in trouble.
No,
he ought to be thrown to the wolves.
If they win 9 games, he's not in trouble. Next one. If they win 9 games, he's not in trouble. Next one.
If I know we're doing our predictions next week, but if I remember, you have them being division champs.
Quite possible, but
so
definitely
9 wins doesn't get you a division championship.
Yeah, no, he's not under that kind of pressure. Next one. What was your last one?
You can guess who the last one is.
No, I don't.
7 years without a playoff win, 3 winning seasons in the last 7 years as well. You can guess who this guy is.
No, who's this guy?
He tried to go get Russell as if this is going to work. He tried to go get Fields as if that's going to work.
Wow, you put Mike Tomlin on the hot seat. Oh, okay.
Mike Tomlin has just as much pressure on him as Shanahan, as Eberflus. Not as much as Sirianni. Sirianni, that's when it kind of ratchets it up. The Giants' entire staff, Robert Saleh and Mike McCarthy.
Shame on you for again. Bring your personal feelings into things.
No, that's not. What do you mean personal feelings? That's
you don't like Tomlin. You've already been on
7 years without a playoff win. You're good with that. He can come back for an 8th year. You're good with that. You're happy with that.
He's never had a losing season as head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
What's that? What did you say?
He's never had a losing season as the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they've been to the Super Bowl twice and won one.
He won one over a decade ago, Cleveland.
Okay, so when's the last time the Miami Dolphins been to the Super Bowl?
What did it have to do with anything? I'm not sure with the Dolphins. We've seen multiple coaches since then. They've had multiple head coaches since then.
It was 40 years ago.
Okay, and your point. What's your point? What is your point? They have had multiple coaches come through there since in those 40 years. I'm not sure what your point is.
Okay, well, I believe the Pittsburgh Steelers have lost the AFC Championship at least 3 times to the New England Patriots, who went out and won the
not in the last 7 years, because he doesn't have a playoff win in 7 years, Cleveland. We're nearing a decade. That's over half a decade. 70% of the last decade, the Pittsburgh Steelers have been at home watching the NFL season on their surround sound stereo. On their big screen TVs with surround sound stereo. 7 of the last 10 years.
Okay, so how many times have they been to the playoffs in the last 7 years?
0.
They were in the playoffs last year.
Oh, excuse me. They've had 3. They had 7-0 playoff
They've been to the playoffs 3 times in the last 7 years.
Went 3 winning seasons.
Have the Miami Dolphins been to the playoffs 3 times in the
I don't
last
know what the Dolphins had to do with this. We're talking about the Pittsburgh
How many
Steelers.
times have the Los Angeles Chargers been to the playoffs in the last 7 years?
You keep bringing up different teams. We're talking about Mike Tomlin and his coaching staff.
Why are you bringing up somebody that's always in the playoffs? It's weird.
They're not always in the playoff. I just told you.
Every other year for the last 7 years.
Oh my God. Okay, I don't know why you're caping up for this dude when he doesn't do anything for the 7 years without a playoff win, and you're caping up for him. You're caping up for him like they won the division here recently. They haven't won the division.
Team to the playoffs.
I don't get it, fans. I don't get this dude and Mike Tomlin. Maybe you can answer this question for me. I think I know why. I got a good idea why, but I'd like to get your feedback for the fans, Cleveland. Why are the wide receivers coming into the league nowadays with so much better prepared than any other players in any other decade? Like these guys, wide receivers, and we can name Justin Jefferson. He comes in the league first year. He's one of the top 10 receivers in the league. Jamar Chase, as soon as he comes into the league, he's the top 10 receiver. We've seen it time and time again. Why are these guys coming into the league so much better prepared than other receivers or other players?
I think it's because of the offenses that they come from and that the league has evolved into a much more pass-friendly environment. And so they're just kind of, I don't want to say plug and play, because some of these receivers, like you said, have been rather dynamic, but it is also kind of the evolution of the offense in the NFL kind of accentuates what it is that they do. And so they're so much more coveted, hence CeeDee Lamb and Jamar Chase and Ayuk sit now because they've seen what these other people have gotten, when their time is up. And it's like, okay, but they become a very important integral part of the offense, where before it was, 3 yards in a cloud of dust and, we'll throw to you guys sometimes, but not like, you're the straw that stirs the drink. So they come out of these pro style offenses, not always pro style. Take that back, but pass heavy offenses, either ways it goes, whether it's pro or, whatever they're doing in college, and they're just ready to go once they get to the league.
Yeah, great point. The evolution of the game has something to do with this. The fact that even going before they go into college, they're like the 7-on-7 is crazy nowadays. And these quarterbacks are coming in a little bit much more prepared. As you mentioned, it has something to do with the offense. It's coaches nowadays, and we talked about know your personnel earlier. Coaches nowadays are gearing their offense towards these quarterbacks who oftentimes are, your guy Caleb hasn't taken a snap under center his whole college career, and he's running 3 or 4 wide. So those receivers, he's prepared to play the NFL game because the NFL game is now running 3 and 4 wide receivers. And that means that there's 100 D1 schools. So you run 3 and 4 wide. That means there's going to be the 300 to 400 players that to select from that are ready to kind of step in the NFL almost right now. Not all of them are going to be to the level of Rome Odunze or Malik Neighbors or Justin Jefferson, but you have a much better shot of getting one of those dynamic playmakers than you did when they were, like you mentioned, fullback. You have 2 tight ends, a fullback, and a running back getting 20 carries every game, and you only got 2 wide receivers. So the pool has almost doubled essentially. And so you're exactly right. With the development of these offenses, the receivers are reaping the benefits, and it's happened pretty quickly actually, because as we've seen the running back position be devalued over time, and that wide receiver game position is just elevated simultaneously. So going to be interesting to see some of these guys that their development this season, how it comes into play with all that we just mentioned. So great point out of you, Cleveland. So now I want to mention some receivers, and I want to get a little comparison out of you, Cleveland. See if I can see what your thoughts are. The Bills, everything coming out of Buffalo and Bills camp is that Keon Coleman is going to be a stud. Is he going to be closer to Stephon Diggs or Stevie Johnson, Cleveland?
Stephon Diggs.
Do you know Steven Johnson? Do you remember Steven Johnson, Cleveland? No. The Giants, Malik Neighbors. We've seen what he's able to do. Is he going to be closer to Odell Beckham Jr. or Plaxico Burress? A little tough one there. You don't want to say Odell. I know you don't want to say Odell, but he don't have the size of Plaxico, so that might have been a little unfair comparison there.
Yeah, I think I'd be closer to OBJ.
The Chiefs, Xavier Worthy. Is he going to be closer to Rashid Rice or Dante Hall?
Rashid Rice.
You say that because Dante Hall never really was a quarterback or the wide receivers?
Primarily a punt returner, and that's kind of where his bread was buttered.
But he was electric, though. He was electric.
And I think Xavier will be good at that, but I think that he'll be more of a contributor in the passing game than Dante Hall was.
Okay, you've been laughing at me every time I bring this guy up for the last few weeks, but the Chargers, Ladd McConkey continues to get talked about and hyped up. Is he going to be closer to Tim Dwight or Keenan Allen?
He'll be closer to Keenan.
What?
Mm-hmm. And I see why he did the Tim Dwight thing, and so do the fans.
That didn't stick by you.
The microphone, homie. Yeah, nah, we see you.
That didn't stick by you, huh? Come on. I told you last week Keenan Allen's a Hall of Famer, Cleveland. I told you that.
He'll be closer to that than he is to Tim Dwight. Again, great punt returner, but yeah, not really all that involved in the passing game.
All right, let's see how objective you can be here. The Chicago Bears drafted your guy Rome Odunze. Has the jersey been shipped in yet?
I told you I don't really like the number 15, so I can't go with that one. So I might have to, get a retro throwback, Krispy Kreme white one from UW. But you're
Is he going to be better? Is he going to be closer to Curtis Conway or Brandon Marshall?
Oh,
what? Curtis was bad. Curtis was bad with the Bears. I mean, he only lasted a few years, but again, he didn't have a quarterback to throw.
He might be the reincarnation of Brandon Marshall.
Oh, goodness gracious. I think Brandon Marshall with the Bears not only did
same size, same speed, same hands.
Well, Brandon Marshall wasn't that fast. He was just
okay. So he's way faster than him. Same size.
Brandon Marshall with the Bears, Cleveland. He had a gunslinger at quarterback.
Yeah.
I think he led the league in receiving one year with the most catches.
Same one he had in Denver. Yeah.
I think he led the league. I haven't done this. Maybe I'll check real quick. I think he led the league in catches.
Believe you're right.
One year, and he tied your boy with the most receptions in the game.
I
don't think he broke his record. I think he just tied with him.
Yeah.
Let me see, Brandon Marshall. Let me see. Let me look at his numbers real quick. Did he? Okay. He led the league in TDs in 2000. What was it? 14. I mean, he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years over 1,000 yards. 7 year, yeah, over 1,000 yards. Consecutive years. Let me add that. Consecutive years. 5 of those years, he had over 100 catches. So, what did that tell you about Brandon Marshall, Cleveland? And I tried to tell you this about Rome, and you was like, "Oh, you laughed at me." 5 years, 5 of those 7 years that he had consecutive years over 1,000 yards receiving. And that first year he only started 1 game. The next 7 years, Cleveland, he started no less than 13 games and had again, in 5 of those next 7 seasons, he had over 100 catches. What did I tell you about him, about Brandon Marshall, Cleveland? And I tried to tell you this about Rome, but you laughed at me and scoffed. Oh, what are you talking about?
Okay, first and foremost, I'm not gonna go into this season letting you put labels and limits on what Rome Odunze can do. But what it says about Brandon Marshall, he was a very productive receiver for quite a few years in a row.
That's what you're gonna say. You think I'm trying to take shots? You think I'm trying to take shots at Rome? I'm not trying to take shots at Rome. I told you I like Rome.
You've been taking shots at Rome since the draft.
I haven't taken shots. I mentioned
the combine when he ran the 4.4. You weren't impressed.
I wasn't. And you still haven't seen a highlight where he broke away from somebody and he scored a touchdown, where he shook somebody up or ran him over and ran to the end zone. You have not seen that happen.
Got a 45-yard touchdown just last week
off a broken play, where the DB, the second string or third string defensive back.
Okay, well, Cam, we'll just
where the quarterback was, and he turned upfield.
Okay, Cam, we'll just have to wait and see then.
You want to put something on there? Rome is a possession receiver.
Okay, and I know
he's a possession receiver. Looking at Brandon Marshall, Brandon Marshall was a possession receiver.
He put in labels and limits on what it is that he can or can't.
That's not a limit. I'm telling you what I see out of it.
This is what I see. He's a possession receiver.
Brandon Marshall.
He's not Wes
Welker.
Listen.
Listen, Brandon Marshall had 1 season, and oddly enough, this was for the Miami Dolphins, where he averaged over 15 yards. Again, that year, what was this, 2011, for the Dolphins, he averaged 15 yards per catch. Once was, I take that back, his rookie year where he caught 37 balls. I mean, come on, 300 yards. This season with the Dolphins, it was 81 catch season. So for 2 out of his what, 10 years? 2 out of his 14 years, he averaged 15 yards per catch. Roman's going to have that type of career. He's not going to be averaging 18 yards of reception.
No, he's not. He absolutely is not. And whoever said he was going to do that?
This is what I'm trying to tell you. When I say possession receiver, I'm not dissing the guy.
He's getting 7 yards a catch.
I'm not dissing the guy. I'm just saying.
No, you're putting him in that same category with like Hines Ward. Like, no, this is not Hines Ward, man.
I mean, Hines Ward's a Hall of Famer, no doubt.
If
he plays the Hines Ward's career,
that's a possession receiver.
If he plays Hines, no, come on, Hines Ward was a do it every day. If he has a Hines Ward career, Cleveland, that's above and beyond what you anticipated. That's above and beyond what you anticipated from Rome Odunze. Would you admit that?
No, I expect Rome to have a much better career than Hines Ward.
Cut it out. You're saying you expect him to be better than Hines Ward?
Yeah.
Does Hines Ward have 2 Super Bowl championships and was a contributing factor? Like was a legitimate factor in the
pedestrian receiver though. He won't make the Hall of Fame. Talk about Rome all you like, but once season starts, man, you got to see the truth.
Hines Ward averaged 12.1 yards a reception for a career,
and he had 386 catches. You said
Hines Ward had 1,000 catches for 1,200 yards. Hines Ward is a Hall of Famer, though.
All right then. I ain't seen him. I ain't seen him just yet. He been out the league a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while, but he got 2 of them, don't he? He was on see how they won in 2006, right? When they won 2006, and then a couple years later with your boy Tomlin, right? 2008 or 9. He got 2 of them.
I mean, maybe so.
He got 2 of them.
I don't think they're going to measure him for the gold jacket just yet. So,
well, we'll see. I mean, that's debatable, really, because he was a contributing factor. He was more. He was a contributor.
All right. Well, yeah, man. We were running along. Rome's a better receiver.
So you got Rome. Just so we're clear, fans. Just so we're clear about this. People think I'm hating, but you got Rome having a better career than Hines Ward.
Yeah.
Over 1,000 yards. Hines Ward played for what? From 98 to 2011, so 13 years. Oof. 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 He only averaged, to your point, he only caught over 100 passes one season. Only once. He has.
That's because he's a possession receiver, Cam.
I mean, that's because he wasn't the only. I mean, Pittsburgh ran the ball too, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay. So now you're putting on your offensive coordinator cap to tell me why he didn't have more catches. I don't want to hear all that, man. He was just a possession receiver. That's why he didn't have more catches.
1,000 receptions, 1,200 yards. I don't know where he is on. I mean, I don't know if that ranks on the all-time receiver list, but 1,200 yards, 12.1 yards a catch for his career.
So
Rome's going to be in that category.
12,000 yards is what you're trying to say. But yeah, Rome is going to be ahead of that. Yeah.
If he has a Hines Ward type career, Cleveland, Rome Odunze has he has surpassed your expectations. Would you admit that?
No, because I think he's a better receiver than Hines Ward.
I mean, I would say put something on it, but you're not.
Yeah. I mean, that's 15 years out, and yeah. And again, he can't throw the ball to himself, so Hines was fortunate to have Roethlisberger and some other great quarterbacks back there. So
let you tell it. This is the next coming of Andrew Luck and Peyton Manning. That Rome is going to be catching balls from. Let you tell it, and all these other prognosticators.
Well, I mean, you can't project that far into the future, Cameron. I'm saying for the next 5 years, yeah, for sure.
So now Caleb's only going to give you 5 years. You guys hear
what I said was, you see, we're at year 5, and what are 3 of the top 5 receivers in the league doing? They're holding out. They may not be with the team that they are with currently, so I can't say that Rome is going to be there with Caleb forever. Okay. We have to see what happens. 5 years for sure.
The next guy on my list is I don't know if you heard of this guy, Jalen Pope.
I have.
Played for the Washington Huskies.
Mm-hmm.
He's now a New England Patriot.
Okay.
Is his career going to be closer to Troy Brown or Terry Glenn?
It's kind of a weird question, man. I mean, which one are you saying is better?
Troy Brown is the Super Bowl champion, multi-time Super Bowl champion.
But Terry Glenn was a better receiver. That's what I'm not quite understanding. Where you
for like one season, like for 1 or 2 seasons.
Okay, well then he'll be closer to Troy Brown then.
He's gonna be a Super Bowl champion?
No, but he'll have a better career than Terry Glenn. Since you said Terry Glenn only had 1 good year, I thought I could have swore he had more than that.
It wasn't much. It wasn't much. But,
and Troy Brown wasn't much to write home about. So yeah. That's not a high ceiling at all.
Yeah, Terry Glenn. I mean, Yeah, you don't want. He did not have one season over with 100 catches.
And how many?
Yeah.
How many did Troy have?
I'll look at it. Terry Glenn had 4 seasons, 4 out of 4 seasons with the 11 over 1,000 yards receiving. He played 96 to 2007, so what's that? 11 years. He only had 4 years over 4 years over 1,000 yards. He did have one season in 2005 where he did lead the league in yards per catch, but that was for the Cowboys.
Okay. And your other dude that you was mentioning,
Troy Brown. I mean, you gotta add the fact that he was playing with your boy too. 93 to 2007, 3-time Super Bowl champion. So you gotta add that. You gotta factor that in, don't you?
It's taking you so long to get these stats that I don't even want to hear them anymore.
1 year over 100 yards or over 100 catches. 1 year, only 1 year where he had 1199. Only 1 year over 1,000. Over 1,000
Okay.
yards.
Well, yeah. Jalen can catch him.
Jalen can catch him.
Yeah.
I mean, he should be able to catch him. He should be able to catch him because he's going to be
because numbers are real pedestrian. Yeah.
But he got 3 of them.
Sure did.
he got 3 of them though.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden now, though, how pedestrian is that? All right, fans. Let's talk about. Let's jump into some NBA topics. Cleveland. Isaiah Thomas. I don't know. Did you hear what he had to say to Anthony Edwards?
The Detroit Pistons, Isaiah Thomas? No.
Detroit Pistons. First, did you hear what Anthony Edwards had to say about players in the 90s?
No, what did he say?
His words. I didn't watch. I think, and you. Okay, I heard what he said, but then when I read what he said, like, it's printed out in a. Do you kind of either it was tongue in cheek, or you have to ignore what he said? Because when he starts off the sentence with "I didn't watch it back in the day, so I can't speak on it." Like when he prefaces his comment with that, like either it's tongue in cheek, or you can't believe what he says after that line. They say it was tougher back in the day than it is now, but I don't think anybody had skill back then. Michael Jordan was the only one who really had skill. You know what I mean? So that's why when they saw Kobe, they were like, oh my gosh. But now everybody has skill. Anthony Edwards, your guy. Isaiah Thomas in response says, propaganda works, so be careful what you choose to believe. Whose side you with on this one?
Isaiah Thomas, man. And that's not tongue in cheek, Cameron.
When he says I didn't watch it back in the day.
Right. And so if you didn't watch it back in the day, what is the only player that anyone ever talks about from that era?
Oh, here we go.
It's Michael Jordan, as if he played in a league by himself. And no one else that ever did anything gets any credit for doing anything. Even though it took him 5 years and 17 broken ribs to get past the Detroit Pistons.
Well, I tell you what. If that didn't sound like some hate coming out of your mouth right there.
No, it's naivete on Anthony Edwards.
Okay.
Michael Jordan is the only one that had any skill. Okay, can you name me 2 players from that era? No. How come? Because all I ever see is Michael Jordan.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm rocking with Isaiah as well.
It's like people that think that Martin Luther King Jr. is the only one that fought for civil rights, man.
Right. Fair point. Fair point. I get you that one. NBA news is light, obviously, Cleveland, but Caden Clark sets the WNBA single season rookie assist record just here this week with like 3 weeks to go in the season. It looks like that 2 months off or that month layoff kind of helped him out. Do you agree that month helped him out big time?
Oh, without question. Got a chance to reflect and see things from a different perspective, get some rest, get some, extra, help and training and stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
Angel Reese also enjoyed her break, becomes the fastest WNBA player to collect 20 double-doubles. Now, I don't want to take shots at Angel Reese. You get 10 rebounds, 10 points, 10 rebounds.
I think what you're alluding to is she was stuffing stats like Jordan.
You guys hear this? You guys hear this? You guys hear this?
Yeah. She'd be 9 points, 10 rebounds, and they'd be like, "Hey, shoot it again." Or, I'm gonna let you get the rebound. You're 10 points and 9 rebounds. Yeah,
12 and 11. Is that? Do we celebrate 12 and 11? Do we celebrate 11 and 13?
11? Yeah. No, not really.
It's a double, sure, but
they're trying to make it seem like it's 20 and 10, and it's not.
Right. There you go. But okay. Well, so that just takes the steam out of my next question. Is there any competition for Rookie of the Year?
Oh, they're going neck to neck, but Caitlin's gonna pull out with it for sure.
So Cleveland has no respect for her double-double. Her double-double record.
I didn't say no respect. I respect the fact that she actually did it, but it's a lot of stat stuffing, man.
I don't entirely disagree.
It's a lot of, you already know what you need to do with like 59 seconds left, and they let you do it, kind of thing.
So this is a question that I didn't get a chance to ask Dave last week, Cleveland, and I asked you to get your feedback on it. So we talked a lot about LeBron, obviously. Dave has spent a lot of time with LeBron, covering LeBron with the Cavaliers and the Lakers now. I think it's been one of the worst kept secrets that the NBA is going to expand. They're going to expand with two teams, right? All the arrows are pointing that it's going to be Seattle and Las Vegas that gets the expansion teams. It's also been a lot of discussion that your guy on a quest to be like Mike wants to buy in to the Las Vegas team. If my question was to Dave was going to be, LeBron signed a 3-year deal with a 2-year option this offseason. So if they announce that there's a Vegas team coming in 2026, not this season, but the following season, will that shorten LeBron's career because he can't be the player owner? Does that shorten his career, and does he take over ownership of the Las Vegas team? What's your thoughts?
He probably has a patsy in place at first that will eventually, sell their shares to him once he's done playing.
Oh, so you're saying he's gonna finagle it so he can keep playing, huh?
Yeah.
And so does that mean Rich takes over? Rich is a part owner?
No, I didn't say who was going to hold be the placeholder, but someone's going to be the placeholder.
Jeannie can't own two teams in the NBA, can she?
No, so she's not one of the placeholders. She has her own thing going on. It's called Laker Nation. So if he wants to go off and do his own thing, and create a, you know, the Bronettes or whatever, you know, he's gonna call them. That's fine. But you know, it's gonna be he's gonna have to be the placeholder until he's ready to step in.
Okay, so you think that doesn't impact his career as far as that won't impact.
He's not gonna stop playing to be an owner, but he may be tired of playing
to run the Bronettes.
He's not getting better, so yeah.
Oh, we just dubbed the Las Vegas team the Las Vegas Bronettes. Okay, all right, fans, each and every week, man, we give you guys the numbers game at the beginning of the show. We give you the quote at the end of the show, but in the middle of the show, we do This Week in History. So this week in history, what we have is August 21, 1831, Cleveland. A slave, Nat Turner, began a slave rebellion in Southampton County, Virginia, killing over 55 whites while freeing their slaves. 1831. Cleveland, August 21, 1791, Haitian Revolution began with the revolt of slaves in the northern province. August 21, 1908, the start of the National Association of Colored Nurses began. August 21, 1917, Cleveland, a race riot in Houston begins between soldiers of the 24th Infantry regime and white citizens. 2 blacks, 11 whites were killed in the ensuing melee. Didn't hear about the Houston riots. Have you?
I have not, no.
You probably heard of this one. August 21, 1950, Althea Gibson plays in the United States Championship, U.S. Championships, and becomes the first black competitor in international tennis. August 21, 1989, Black Panther co-founder Huey P. Newton was shot to death in Oakland, California. 1989, Cleveland. Do you remember hearing about that?
I absolutely do. It was quite tragic, and then again brought to light when Welcome to the Terror Dome, when Chuck D addressed it.
Did you see the movie? What was the movie? It was a great movie just recently about it.
Recently?
Yeah. Within a couple of years ago, within 2 or 3 years. Was the guy kind of narked? Was a narc? He was.
And my man won the Academy Award for it.
Did he?
Yeah. No, that was a great. No. So we're thinking about 2 different things. I'm thinking about Fred Hampton. Is that what you're talking? Is that the Messiah?
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
So that's Fred Hampton. So that's in Chicago. Okay. That's not Huey.
Okay. You know. Yeah. We're thinking about the same movie. August 21, 2001, Cleveland. American singer actress Aaliyah dies in a plane at Marsh Harbor Airport. I don't like to do a lot of deaths, but I thought that'd be a good one to discuss. Leaving the Bahamas when they overloaded the plane. There's a lot of theories they have, conspiracy theories about that, but yeah, she ended up passing away. August 21, 1959, Hawaii becomes the 50th state of the United States. Cleveland, August 14, 2015, or August 21, actually, 2015. Hitman Agent 47 was released on a $35 million budget. They made $202 million, excuse me. 22 million of that on opening weekend. Yeah. Did you see that Agent 57 or Agent 47?
Possibly. That's a dude in the suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Cleveland, I sent you the clip. What was the best knockout that you saw on that clip? Was it Mike Tyson with the uppercut and he dropped old boy? Or was it shoot,
My man who knocked out Roberto Duran.
So I'm gonna go in order with it. I'm gonna go in reverse order
Tank
actually.
Davis being number one.
So I'm gonna say Tank's knockout was pretty extraordinary, but he's coming in at number 4.
That was a good guy too. That Louis Santa Cruz he's a really good dude, man. I hate to see him knocked out.
It was brutal. He's coming in at number 4. Number 3 is the Iron Mike Tyson knockdown.
You got that at number 3.
At number 3, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. At number 2, that Ernie Shavers. Wow.
Oh, okay.
He knocked the hell out of
Larry Holmes.
Wow. And
that was better. That was better than your number 1.
And truth be told, Larry Holmes came back and won that fight. I don't know how after getting knocked down like that, but he did come back and win that fight. But number 1 is the Hitman Hearns, man, showing exactly why they call him that, man, with that right hand, knocking out the hands of stone. Wow, crushed him. Never been knocked down, much less knocked out.
I got a chance to talk to Hitman Hearns. It was one of the there's a I think Ernie Shavers was the better. I guess being that Holmes came back and won the fight, that doesn't elevate that one. But I got a chance to talk to Hitman Hearns, and it was one of the most uncomfortable interviews I've done, because you could see that the punches clearly have taken impact.
The punch drunkenness, yeah.
And he wasn't. I don't even think I posted that interview because of the way I felt interviewing him. And oddly enough, it might have went on for 5 minutes, because he wanted to talk, but he was struggling getting the words come out of his mouth. You could see that weren't keeping up with what was on his mind.
Cognitive, yeah. Your brain won't allow you, or your mouth won't react to what your brain is thinking.
And you can clearly see that
discord. Yeah,
you could see that it was kind of uncomfortable. I don't even think I posted that interview. Most of my videos are on YouTube. Voice of Fans on YouTube. I don't think I posted a video because that was one of the most. I wanted to talk to him. It was cool to talk to Tommy the Hitman Hearns, and he's doing his rhymes. But then I started asking questions, and it was like you could just see that the motor skills were the motor had slowed down considerably. It was again one of the most uncomfortable interviews. It looks like fans, for those of you Kobe Bryant fans and legends and stands, Nike and NBA is gonna have an airing for Kobe Bryant on Thursday, the 22nd, 8 p.m. Eastern time. You can watch it on the NBA app, or I imagine you can view it on NBA TV as well. I unfortunately won't be able to watch it, fans, because I have poor sound on my TV, and I just won't be able to take my mind off of the poor sound quality.
Yeah, now you're all snotty and all snooty, and I can only listen to TV from above.
Fans, if you've heard surround sound stereo, it's very hard to go back.
Television.
It's very hard to go back.
Bougie.
Man.
Ooh, I don't think you even realize how bougie you sound right now.
Don't invite me to watch a Super Bowl party and your sound ain't up to snuff, okay? Again. Wow. Your guy Floyd Mayweather. So now you said I asked you flat out, Cleveland. You've been banging on boxing all year long for the last 2 years, in fact.
Ever since I invited you to LA and we went to go see Tank fight, you've been banging on boxing. I don't think you have a good word to say about the sport of boxing for like 3 seasons now. You said you would. Oh, I asked you, Cleveland. Okay, Cleveland, what fight would you go see? Oh, I'll go see a Tank. I'll watch Tank fight. Tank fight comes up, you don't even tune in. You know, this is the type of off and on fan I'm dealing with here. Now, your guy, Floyd Mayweather Jr., is he Pretty Boy Floyd to you? Is he Money Mayweather? What do you call him? What's his real name these days?
Any of the three, but typically I say Money Mayweather.
Okay, he's fighting Floyd. He's fighting John Gotti this weekend. Are you tuning in?
No.
Why aren't you tuning in to watch this?
Okay, fans, I'm gonna give you an analogy, and this is gonna be kind of deep because I don't know if you guys know this, and I didn't know it until yesterday, and I'm still a little bit confused about it. Okay, so bear with me. My wife yesterday sent me a link to a movie called Scarface 2. And I swear on my life, I'm like, oh my gosh, Tony Montana had a kid that we didn't know about? No. It is literally Al Pacino. And I'm like, hold up, man. I saw the end of Scarface. Are you telling me that they are going to try
That he missed? Yeah, they missed.
That he lived?
Yeah, those 60 people that came that rushed the house.
And Michelle Pfeiffer's.
No. He fell through the banister into the pool.
Not joking. Not joking. This is a real thing. So Al Pacino is still playing Tony Montana.
Oh.
And Michelle Pfeiffer is still his wife. And I'm like, where are you pulling this out of?
This is like what happened if?
What?
You know,
I don't even know. So if it's a what happened if, no, because it's Al Pacino, like real life. Like right now doing it.
Oh man. Okay, you gotta share that link with me. It has to be if he never did this. You know,
no man.
If he did right by the Colombians.
It's not a prequel. It's not a prequel. It's not 15 days before
right.
No, none of that.
If he never cuts dude out on the phone.
Yeah. So when you start talking about Floyd, and if he was fighting some guy named John Nelson, nobody cares. But because this dude's name is John Gotti, the instant thought is like, ooh, this really tough guy. No, John Gotti sounds not tough, man. And he's grandson, and he's certainly not a boxer. And he's certainly not a boxer in the caliber of one of the top 5 greatest boxers ever. It's like, no, I won't watch that, man. Tell me about it. But me actually taking time to sit out and watch the fight, like, no.
Canelo Alvarez to fight Edgar, Berlanga, Mexican against Puerto Rico. This is actually a decent fight card. Caleb Plant's fighting on this fight card. Danny Garcia's fighting on this fight card on the undercard anyway. It's gonna be a decent fight card, but I don't think Berlanga has a chance of beating Canelo. And
handpicked,
huh?
Handpicked.
And to further the point, though, if you see the press conference, did you see the press conference with these guys? Berlanga is just way over the top, just talking too much, way too much junk, way too much junk.
Still on that 15 straight first round knockout thing that happened.
And he's talking way too much. If Fat Joe wasn't in the audience, and so that told me something right there. Fat Joe wasn't at the press conference.
Oh,
but he talking way too It's like, dude, the question was asked, what do you have that Canelo hasn't seen? The guy says Canelo's fought everybody. What do you have that he has not seen? And he says he's more cerebral than the Floyd Mayweather fought, the Miguel Cotto. It's like, dude, come on. I can't even take you seriously after you say some junk like that. I don't think I'm gonna make that fight. But it's a decent fight card. That's September 14th. Decent fight card in Las Vegas. So just a couple weeks. Cleveland. The Mariners lost to the Dodgers. I'm not sure if you saw that score or not. Which puts them at now 3-8, or excuse me.
So they lost again tonight already? Really?
Yeah, they lost.
Oh wow.
Before we get to that, before we get to a Mariners minute, because I think they're still barely over 500. Yeah, barely. Ooh. I think tonight's loss puts them right at 500. So this might be it, fans. You guys get a Mariner talk. So go ahead, Cleveland. Give us your last Mariner talk of the season.
Last Mariner talk of the season. I heard some numbers that were absolutely staggering. They
2-8 in the last 10 games.
So they made a comparison, as I've been saying, fans and Cameron, who won't listen.
Here we go. He gonna hit him with some stats now, fan. I tried to give him stats earlier, and he laughed at me. But now he wants to give me some stats.
Historically good pitching staff. Okay.
Now go ahead, give us the stats, Cleveland. Give us some made up stats.
They compared this staff to the Brave staff.
Oh.
Okay.
The Brave staff that went to what? They ruled the 90s. Went to what? 6 out of 4 Super
10 straight division titles. Yeah, that one.
Oh, so you're going to compare the Mariners to the Braves that win 10 straight division titles? That's what you want to do?
You're not letting me finish. You're jumping in the microphone like Crocodile Dundee. Calm down. Where I'm going with this here is to compare the ERAs of the two staffs. This staff has a lower ERA than that staff. Okay. That team won 100 games, I think 8 of those 10 years, with mediocre hitting. I don't think they were ever higher than 12 or 13 in the league, and as low as 22.
When they had Holly Berry's husband on the team,
David Justice.
They had what was the young cat, the third baseman? They had the third baseman. What was the third Chip?
All that. This team is barely 500. That team with that same pitching staff, which doesn't have as low an ERA as this pitching staff, won 100 games. That just goes to show you how incredibly horrible this offense is. And last parting words, heads will roll. You will not have the same general manager or manager.
When does Ingram play Blanchett at T-Mobile Stadium?
I think September the 19th. I'm sorry, October the 5th. After the season's over. Yeah, they get a chance to do that now.
Well, at least you come around. At least you weren't saying never at all. At least you come around and say Metro League gets to take over.
Yeah.
T-Mobile.
Until they find an adequate manager and general manager, yeah. Get some run out there.
How embarrassing is that? But you guys are gonna you guys are gonna keep going to the stadium. How many tickets will they sell this year? What's their
It's hard to say.
Are they gonna be 2.5 or 3 million?
No.
Oh, the fan. Oh, wait. Are the fans? Have the fans come to their senses in Seattle? They stopped going to the.
I think probably around 2-3 million is a lot of fans, Cameron.
But you were telling me at the beginning of the season, that stadium gets 3 million fans a year. We're only fans that.
I didn't say that. I said they could and would if they actually, were in contention and, viable World Series candidates, which they're not. But they still drew very well. Let's not mince words.
The stadium is beautiful.
3 million now.
The stadium is beautiful, and I think most of the fans, if you looked at the stats, most of the fans sit on that first base side so they can look over into Puget Sound. I mean, it's an awesome date spot.
It's an awesome everything spot, but they didn't drop
the talent on the field stinks and have stunk for years and years and years.
Pitching staff is historically great. The rest of the players, not so much. Everyone has to be accountable, other than that pitching staff, and look at themselves in the mirror. And at least two, if not 5 people are getting fired.
Every year it's something, man. They stink out loud.
Okay, well, I'm trying to talk about the Mariners, Cameron. It's football
47,
season.
now we're 47 years.
No more.
Oh! Don't get feisty with me. That's your team.
I know.
Don't get feisty with me because
okay, well, I'm
it's
tired
another year that they don't make the playoffs.
I'm tired of talking about it.
You see how he does, fans?
It's football season.
I try to give his team some airtime, and this guy starts snapping back at me.
That's right. No, I'm not ready to talk. I'm not there yet. Too soon.
Well, that's the last we have to worry about the Mariners. Them bums. That's the last we have to worry about. Wait, hold on. The what is this? There's a girl in the Little League World Series hitting homers.
We got another Monet Davis on our hands.
No, she wasn't pitching.
Oh.
I think she was out there hitting homers though. So Joey Votto, is Joey Votto a Hall of Famer? Wasn't he? Let me check before I say this. Did he play for the Brewers?
Cincinnati Reds.
Who played for the Brewers? Who was that who played for the Brewers? Okay, so he's not the guy. He's not the guy. And Votto, he only played for the Reds, that's it? Is he a Hall of Famer? No? All right. This Hall of really good, huh? So Cleveland, you had the your World Series prediction were the Dodgers versus the Rangers. You want to change that prediction?
Yes, let's go old school. Let's make it happen. Yankees Dodgers.
Oh, you got Yanks in there now, huh? Can they? I mean, they had a bad patch in the season, but you think they can recover now?
Oh yeah, they got hitting. They got talent.
But they got my guy Aaron, huh? Judge makes the difference in Soto.
So
what I say? Okay. Old school. Who would win that one? Shohei?
We're not sure just yet. We'll have to see what the pitching staffs look like and who's still healthy.
Look at you. All right, so let's get this on the record. Is 40-40 still a thing, Cleveland?
40-40 is still a thing.
So Shohei has 39 home runs, 38 stolen bases. I don't know. He may have more after he played the sorry Mariners. He might have. I don't know if he hit a home run tonight. He probably stole 3 bases tonight. Does he cement the National League MVP?
Yeah.
If he does the 40-40 thing?
For sure.
Oh, look at you. So you ready to come around on Shohei?
He is the National League MVP for 2024 after he kind of sidestepped that whole gambling stand.
Well, I mean, he was. Do we have to go back to that thing?
No, we don't. We absolutely do not.
You brought it up, bro. Like you try to pin it on him.
I didn't. All I said was he is quite possibly unanimously the MVP of the National League after sidestepping that gambling scandal in which he was.
It wasn't even a scandal. He was not involved. His interpreter stepped up and
admitted that it was all his doing. Shohei was focused on baseball.
My sources tell me something different, but it's not quite ready to come public and forward with it. So,
is this the same sources that says that the Mariners going to have new ownership this year?
Cameron, I can't get into all that right now. Still too sensitive.
Well, I'm glad you come around on Shohei. And so it's time, since we can't talk Mariners no more. I guess we'll kick back up our Shohei watch next week, because we're gonna have to talk about the best player ever to play the game in baseball and what he's doing. And just imagine if he was pitching this season. You couldn't stop me from talking about him if he was throwing up strikes.
He would just hurt himself and not be valuable to his team. So fortunately, he just doesn't have that burst responsibility.
You see how he's taking shots at the best player that we've ever seen, that you ever seen play with your two eyes. You're taking shots. I don't like that. Shame on you. Shame on you. Fans, we want to thank you guys. Give yourselves a round of applause for tuning in tonight to the Voice of Fans. I say give Cleveland a round of applause, but he's not familiar with the value of a surround sound stereo on a television. So we're gonna refuse to applaud him tonight for that. And you're gonna have to get your game up. Get your game up. But if you're still with us, fans, thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. Each and every week, we're here to bring you guys fresh content, unheard of content. Next week, we're gonna have our man Eric Williams from Fox Sports kind of do a season preview of the NFL. We're gonna talk a little baseball again. You do our Shohei watch again. We'll pick back up with the Shohei watch as the major league season comes to a close there. And the Mariners will for sure be under 500, so no reason to talk about them. As we do at the beginning of the show, we give you the numbers game. We give you This Week in History. I don't believe any other podcast in all the land is doing that. So thank you guys for tuning into the Voice of the Fans podcast. Tell a friend to tell a friend. If you can and are willing, hit us up on Cash App. You see, I need some. I need to get repairs for my TV, fans. I'm hurting over here. I'm hurting.
All right, Craft $1. I get you. I got you.
The moments of despair are here, fans. Cash App, $, Voice of the Fans, $, Voice of the Fans. We need your assistance. If you can and you are willing, please send some donations. But we really thank you for joining the Voice of the Fans podcast. Let's give Cleveland a round of applause for being here. As I mentioned, like no other show in the land, we give you a quote at the end of the show just to kind of carry you guys through the rest of the week. And the quote I have here tonight is from Thomas Jefferson. Honesty is the first chapter in the book of wisdom. Mr. Thomas Jefferson, Cleveland. Honesty is the first chapter in the book of wisdom. So be honest with yourself. Be honest with the world. And even if people disagree with you, when you talk about how impactful surround sound stereo is to your viewing pleasure, and people, even though they disagree with you, you must be honest with them and tell them they don't know what they're talking about. Honesty is the first chapter of the book of wisdom. Fans, thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. This is your man, Cam. Cleveland, where can they find you?
At Clevie Wonder on Instagram. Cleveland still on Instagram. Clevie Wonder on TikTok and Twitter.
Hit us up at _Voice of the Fans on Twitter, at _Voice of the Fans on Twitter. Send any comments, complaints, concerns to their Voice of the Fans on Twitter. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. And once again, give yourself a round of applause. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you for making our voice your choice.